Unmuted just so I can talk. Hey y'all, what is up? How's it going? I'm just finishing up this post to YouTube, to Instagram real quick. Hold up. And then I'll be here for realsies. I thought it was gonna take way less time than it did. To post that. Way more time. I thought it was gonna take less time to post that. How's it going? Happy Friday. Today we are going to keep working on the work in progress app as we did the last 2 weeks. So this is again a weekly occurrence or a semi-weekly occurrence. I actually need to take off. I don't think next Friday. In like 3 Fridays, I'll have to not be here because I'll be watching on the way to go watch Taylor Swift. So I just won't be here. But the next couple of weeks, we should be firing and building things, which is great. So like I said, today we are working on that. As a recap as to what you may or may not have missed if this is your first time joining or not. This is I'm calling it a work in public project tracker. So the app itself is geared towards people that like to work in public. The idea is that you can kind of put all your stuff in here and then track it and send in links and stuff to people. Maybe at some point there'll be like a UI you can plug into. I've seen that like pretty poppin' with like packages and stuff. But right now the goal is to just build an Mac app and build the backend that allows you to add things and keep track of those and transfer all the statuses and stuff like that. Last week we got the form built out. Let's start like looking at it a bit at the app, and I can walk through as we actually like work with the app. So yeah, last week we got the form built out. So this is gonna load here. Working on trying to add my own projects. These projects on the left are just like built-in projects, like standard projects, or so to say, like the mock data, I guess. Give a name, give a project description, be able to add it. Obviously, this isn't the best looking app right now. Like we are just trying to get it all to work. Style will come after I get more of the functionality in. But yeah, so this is the goal here. So we can type in the project name, and we are using the composable architecture, which is what all this stuff is printing as we type because the name is changing. And then like a description, and then we should be able to add the project. And it says it was success, was this optional, but we're not, there's a value type key string that's required that's missing. And we can see in our, we're writing to a Vapor backend. So we can see in the backend here that, well, I say that, and that we're not actually getting our projects. So we're missing something here. So I'm trying to figure out what this API key is that we're actually missing, that kind of stuff. Hold on. I had to turn down the music a bit on my end. If it's too loud for you, let me know in the chat or somewhere. But yeah, so that's what we're trying to figure out now, is how to do that properly. Because I thought I did have the key, because we obviously have a title and a title here, and then description, and then a status. So something's not right. Exactly. I don't know what it is, but something's not right. So let's go look at the API manager. I am curious what we're actually like presenting here. So print request. Whoops, that is the wrong dot. I guess we don't really want data, do we? Because we're getting in that new project, and we're sending in project.new project. But where does new project come from? So it's this title, description, status. So what is our server telling us? So we are writing both the front end and the back end here. So it's both the options. Both the stuff is happening. So string, value type string required for title. So my guess is because it's an array, it's having issues. So I really need to figure out how to actually just send using this like struct and not having to like do this weird string thing. So that's like we're using Alamo Fire here. to send through, because one, I don't want to construct my own URL session manager. I know it's super easy, or like it looks super easy. And number two, using Alamo Fire helps me in the day job. So if I can kill two birds in one stone and understanding something a little bit more, that's what I'm gonna do. So let's see. Oh no, go. I was trying, oh no, they all literally disappeared. Where, hold on. I had something, on my iPad, and then it decided not to do this. I need to connect to my iPad again. There we go. But where did the other window go? It just straight up said goodbye. I love when tech doesn't work. I don't even know if I can get to it this way. There we go. Now I have everything again. All right, so let's see. How can we do Alamo Fire codable? Because basically what I really need and what I really want to do is put a, instead of all these parameters, like me doing it, like it should be able to do a custom encoding. Like, and I know I've done this before. I don't know how to do it. Encoder equals URL encoder encoded form. I should probably start at the beginning of this. All right, so configure the sorting of encoded variables. I don't need to do that. But maybe I do. The hashing algorithm used by Swift's dictionary type produces a random internal ordering at runtime, which differs between app launches. I mean, that's fine. I don't necessarily care, I think. I could. I might care. I don't know yet. But it looks like I more so need to figure out how to encode with, like, this, basically. A JSON parameter encoder encodes encodable values for using Swift's JSON encoder and sets the result as the HTTP body. Okay, so I feel like... Where did that go? API manager. That's what I want over here. I feel like this is a little wrong. So under parameters, like I don't feel like I need... It's whatever parameters are. What are parameters? Encodable value. And we are conforming to codable here. So let's just get rid of that, maybe? And we have project. Is that gonna work? And then we want JSON parameter encoder. I don't think it needs to be pretty printed. I don't think that matters necessarily. Dot sorted keys. That's date encoder. Maybe I just need to... But how do I use like a custom encoder? No. I don't know. Let's just try running it. Let's see what happens. I mean, this is what we're here for, right? Like figuring out how to run this necessarily. So what is it missing now? Oh, hey, supposedly it posted. So let's go see. Did it actually post? Ooh. From app. Well, that's a good sign, right? We have... I'm curious. I need to add in like a date field, I feel like a date created field would be really good to know. Just for like tracking purposes at some point. There. Nope, it's gonna not. That's fine. So that's really cool. We got the from app part, so it really like did not matter. Looks like its status ID is linked to the one I put. All right, let's figure out what else to do, how to fix this now, like so that it takes in the right title. So that's probably from. Okay, so this is a dependency. Which we'll get to. Project. That just takes in the project. Where do I actually do this? Probably in, it looks like the state I'm adjusting is an app core. But I probably do it from new project, right? So I am using the composable architecture here, so it is a little bit different to think about like where you put things. So like the API client. So the title is coming from project, title from app. So we could actually just bind, just take, instead of this title, we want to take it from here, title. State.title. Description is going to be state.description. Let's actually do this. So state.description.count. Let's put it here. Let description equal so description's a string and it's going to equal if state.description.count is greater than 0, then we want it to be equal to state.description. Else we want it to just be equal to nil, basically, and then this description here can be this description that we just put through. So we'll hit replace here. Let's try again. See if we can get the custom title. Add project. Says it was successful here. Custom title. Look at that. We have IDs. We have a custom title with the status ID, and that status ID maps to this in progress. So that's cool. So that is awesome. I'm really happy that we can grab that. That was a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. I should have realized what it was going to be. So now there's like a couple of things we need to do here. Number one, this should be an effect, I think, in composable architecture world. Because basically we need to do something on this, what is it? So in the API manager, we need to wait for this response, and based on this response, we need to do something. So whether it's like throw an error and say, hey, this wasn't right, or we need to actually like let it finish off, basically, or we need to just be like, cool, it succeeded, let's close it, let's open the project, stuff like that. So I don't exactly know how to do that, but I do know I want to use async await with this stuff. So let's go ahead and say async, and let's go look at some documentation on how to make this this work. And feel free to, if you have advice, like feel free to chime in. I am more than willing to take advice at any point in this project. So composable architecture, we're going to use call an effect task. So effects are the perfect place to do side effects like network requests. So part of the composable architecture, this framework that we're using, is when there are anything like outside the app. So let's think like network requests, which is what we just did. You really want to bundle those into an effect so that those can occur, and then you know if you need to like do something based on that effect, basically. So which is exactly the same case here. We need to do something based on the response and whether or not it succeeds or not. So there's two distinct ways to create an effect. One is using Swift's native concurrency, and the other is using a combined framework. Then there are three main ways to create an effect. If you're using the combined application, in particular for dependencies of your feature, then you can create effects by making use of any combines operators. But why would you do one over the other? Store is not thread safe, so all effects must receive values on the same thread. So to me, based on reading that, because thread safety is a really big deal, we should probably move my face actually, because my face is covered by my subscribe logo. Hold on. This is stuff I don't think about doing. That should probably be fine. And let's do one more thing here. Sorry, y'all. Probably a little jarring to go back and forth to see that, but is it this? Yeah. And turn off mirror. There we go. Cool. Now I think this looks a bit better. It's a little, yeah, cool. It actually looks like I'm looking at the screen now too. Yay. All right. Little things make me happy like this. All right. So if using, so we don't want to use combine. We want to use this way. There's a couple of different ways to make tasks, to make these effects. There's a task, a run, and then a fire and forget. So we have to figure out which one is the best that we want to do. The fire and forget is a interesting one. So it creates an effect that executes some real world that doesn't need to feed data back into the store. This is definitely not what we want, because we want the data to feed back into the store to say it's been created and stuff like that. But this would be like if you just need to go update something and you don't care, or like you do something somewhere else and you, again, don't care about it. I wish there was like a better, oh, analytics button. Cool. So that seems like a really good like case to use it, just because it fires and then who cares about it? Like analytics has completely happened. We'll have to build that in at some point too. Then there's a run, and this is an async unit of work that can emit any number of times. So I guess this sounds like something that just goes over and over and over again. So like, I guess reading a file, it looks like an example here. Emit 0 or more times, not just once. Okay. And then there's a task, which is probably what we're going to actually end up using. And what a task does, this function is useful for executing work in an async context and capturing the result in an effect task, so that the reducer, a non-async context, can do it. Yeah, so we can go and post it and then like do something based off of it. That's what we're going to do here with this task. And there's one more effect in the composable architecture, and that's the none effect. And this just means that like nothing can happen, nothing will happen. You'll see this a lot in reducers. So like if I go to my new project core, there's a lot of return. You have to, when you're inside your reducer, you return an effect based on the action that appeared. And there's a lot, or the action that was sent. So most of the time you do .none because it's all internal like state adjustments. But sometimes like network requests, you have to return an effect. And so that's what we're going to do now, is compose an effect for, compose that effect and use the dependency in that way. So basically this function, this add new project function, is going to return a task that will do either a success or a failure on. Ofin is Py like Swift. I'm assuming you mean like Python like Swift. I I do not believe so. Based on my experience with Python, it is a bit different. You have, and I think Python isn't a statically typed language, if I remember correctly. It's been a while since I've touched Python, to be honest. But it's definitely not like it based on my experience with Python. But you could definitely get by. Like, if you know Python and you're thinking about learning Swift, you can definitely figure it out and start coding pretty easily in it, I think. Hopefully that helps. Feel free, y'all, to ask questions along the way. I am more than happy to answer questions, or if I don't explain something right and you wanted more info, again, please, let me know. All right, we also want to get the dependency library up on how dependency. Dependency library Swift. There it is. Something people probably don't know is I do have a Discord, so feel free to come join the Discord if you want to chat more about this or start chatting about development in general. So feel free to join. Super happy to have people in there and stuff like that. Got kind of inspired, or thought about sending it right now because of the Slack option. I was like, should I make a Slack for this? But no, I should not. Not right now, at least. I have a Discord. People can join the Discord. All right, so the dependency value we have now, but how would we use this? Maybe this is not the right case for the dependencies, but I feel like it's supposed to be. What are dependencies? What are they? Let's talk about that. And I want to know examples of using the dependencies in TCA specifically. So we have this reducer, right? Altered execution environments. This isn't. So it looks like we could put .mock. Yeah. Okay, so they put an API client here. And it looks like controller with dependencies, edit view from self. So you can grab that. Self.present. I think this is like a view controller, so this is more like UI kit stuff. Let's see. Do they have info in here? Ah, dependencies. There we go. The dependency management system in the composable architecture is driven off of the dependency library, has extensive documentation and articles. Yeah, that's fine. I mean, it can and it does, but that's not what I want. But you can override a dependency, which is neat. Okay, so let's just try it, I guess. I mean, honestly, this is the best thing to do. All right, let's do it. So we have this dependency here for API client, which doesn't even have to be up there. We're actually going to declare it inside our core here, I think is the best place. We'll have to do some actions as well with it. But let's do API client, live. And we might actually need to do something with the API. Yeah, I thought so. So let's API client completely. Okay, so we know it's not going to return an async void. We want it to return a task. And what is it going to return? I wish depend Dependency API client. I think this might get me what I want. I don't know, this could be wrong, but let's see. I just want an example of how, and I'm sure there's an example somewhere. Oh, so this could await, maybe. Let's actually open the examples folder. Open. Ah, effects, basics. That's what I want. Open. All right, so this is just from their example repo. Like in the composable architecture, like GitHub repo, they have a bunch of examples. So that's where I just pulled these from. I just want to see how they write the effects, if that makes sense. So this is the decrement delay response. And then there's a response. So it returns the dot response. Okay, so let's, so I need to return some kind of like success or failure there. Is that right? I doubt I did that right. Cool. And now it's just upset that I haven't fixed. It's going to be upset here because we're not doing it right. But that's fine. Because it's not like returning anything here. And then I think that I can just return this. Value of type blank to. I don't quite know if I'm doing this right, but we'll see. Await response. I mean request dot I don't want, there should be like async await options for this stuff. So let's go look at the docs for Alamo Fire. Streaming data. Let's see. Nope, that's wrong. Isn't there like an async await function here? Right, there should be. Routing, Swift concurrency. There we go. Response equals await dot task. So request response equals await dot. I mean await request dot, and then figure it out. And then I guess I need to figure out what equals await dot response. Oh, okay. Is this right? Okay, this code synchronously produces a data task test response. Oh, I have to say what we're gonna decode it as. Oh, I see. Okay, I'm getting there. It's just, it takes time. So we have data task here. I need to come up with what the response looks like. So do I actually know what the response looks like in here? Probably not, because I don't know what Vapor is doing. Project. How can I define a response? So this is create, which is weird. Oh, dot post create. Return. Oh, it returns the project back, I guess. All right, so errors, throw not found. I don't think this is what I want. Oh, cool. So error, this is gives you the error. How can I send an HTTP status? Route parameters, which is fine there. Then we have, and then it would send that. That's fine. Okay, but like, I guess I would just return it, but how do I return like an HTTP status? Oh, I was making it wrong earlier. That's fine. We'll figure that out in a minute. Okay, so this sends JSON back. Okay, so return HTTP status dot OK. So that looks like something I can, no, Siri, stop. Thank you. Something I could do. So here, wrong, Xcode. Instead of returning the project, oh, because it tries, we can return a status. I mean, what was it? HTTP status dot accepted? I don't even know what is created. Let's print this. I'm just curious what it is. Like, let's replace the server that's running and let's see what happens. This is, I think, cool. I've mentioned this like once or twice on this YouTube video channel. I've never done this before, so we're just trying new things. Where did paw go? Cool. This is just easier than trying to get through everything. Oh, so it gets me a 201 created. So that's awesome. Thing created is 201. Thanks, Matt. And hello and welcome. I am just working through things. You didn't actually ask how I'm doing, but we're good. But yes, HTTP status is dot created. I'm guessing that I could also Google like status codes. And do this. You've been lurking. Nice. Awesome. How are you doing today? How's your Friday? Cool. Yeah, here are all the status codes. I should probably put this in like my Notion doc just so that I have it somewhere. For reference. And probably doesn't belong right inside this, but it's fine. Cool. Successful response. Awesome. So yeah, so that's what like 201's created, 200's okay, 202's accepted. So the request succeeded and a new resource was created as a result. So I feel like that's what I should be returning, not just like a 200 option. Doing okay. Nothing special. Nice. Awesome. You know, sometimes those days are the best days, to be honest. Cool. So yeah, we definitely should probably be, instead of this project, because like I don't need the project to come back because like the project already exists. It might make sense to have the project come back once we're not talking, excuse me, once we're not talking about like, what is it? Once we're not talking about like this like app side of things and we start dealing with like the web side of things, but we'll get to that when we get there. I feel like this should not be a return on the project though here, unless, well, that seems weird. I guess like this is where I just don't know how it's supposed to work, like how backend structure is supposed to work. I would think that the post request that you make should just return the status that you want. And we always want to return a status of some kind, so. If it's successful, we'll do that. Yeah, and like delete returns a status, like, that makes sense. Return the whole project as you have a new GUID that you may want to do something with. Oh. Okay. I see what you're saying. Oh, so like if the backend for some reason generates a new UUID, I would want to bring that UUID in instead of relying on the app's UUID. Okay. I mean, I can do that. That's not hard to do. It's just not how I would think to do, but this is stuff I'm willing to learn and adjust and try different things. Okay, so then I feel like this is wrong here. So we need to do serializing data, but you can ignore that the value in the app. Okay, I see. I think I'm understanding like what's happening. I hope. Find out. And I need to say what we're serializing the data with, right? I think here. So takes in a sorry, just trying to scratch the eyes. But I want to make sure that I am thinking about this correctly. Alamo Fire, advanced usage. So this would be the response I'm expecting, I would assume. So I would imagine it would be a project.self dot response. Cannot convert value of type project type to expected argument type boolean. So false? Maybe I'm not reading something correctly as well still in the docs. So it looks like there's just, serializing decodable, not data. And then this is where I do project.self. And then we can take in the nothing. I don't need to grab the response yet. So this should be, that's the request. data task here. Let response equals. Thanks for the follow, Kakidiako. I think I said that right. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Is that a thing? I have a feeling that's the thing you do on live streams at YouTube. I really think my whole like stream elements thing is just broken because I didn't see that come across, but that's fine. Okay, so here we'll do a data task dot response, or do we want the result? Yeah, we want the result. We can actually. No, if we can, I think we can. Let's try this. Let's do a. No. Hold on. Yeah, I know. It is. You're right. So this is a result, and it's either a project or an AF error. So, which is basically what I want, right? In my client, like, this should be a project or an error, so that, like, in TCA we can switch, we can do the proper response, I believe. So let response is that, but how do I get it from, this is still upsetting. Okay, we'll figure that out. I think there's something missing here that I think will be, that we'll figure out. What if I return result project error? And then it's missing a return. Maybe? Cannot convert return expression of type to type results project AF error to return type any error. I guess I would need to do AF error here, and then we could do like an AF error here, and import the Alamo Fire, right? Expression is async, so return await that, and that should be what I need. So then inside the store, so inside our reducer now, we need to, this async await call is not working right because it needs to now be a task, basically. I've only done this a handful of times with TCA. Where did this go? Is it here? No. Did I close it? I wouldn't have been surprised if I did close it. I was like, I'm gonna open it so I'm prepared, and then I did not. Where is documentation? There it is. Not what I want anyway. Concurrency. Task. So we need to declare a fact response. For the case here. So we'll do a case, project, create project, response. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. And then inside, I keep going back and forth with the docs here. And it needs to take in a task result of a string, which we don't, it's not really a string in this case. It'll be a result. And then, I mean, not a result, it'll be a project. And then an AF error, but we don't, I don't really want to pull out. I don't want to put Alamo Fire here. So is there a way that I could make this more of a, probably not, more of a generic error though? Like, you know, like I don't want this to be Alamo Fire error. Like, I think it's not that it's silly. Like, we need to do things based on this error, but I need to like also let it not be the error at the same time. If I catch the result in my error, yeah. But then that kills the result, right? Option. Because basically, like, how my understanding of how this is supposed to work in the TCA is you could, it's supposed to return a task result, and it's either a success or an error or a failure or whatever they want to call it. So yeah, you either get a success or you get your failure. And like without, I mean, I guess I could still return the error or return the success. So it would be like response dot get. So like I guess I could still do that, right? Oh, right. TCA, that you don't know how. Yeah, that's totally fair. Yeah, because it's just trying to figure it out with the TCA, and I just feel like it's silly to pass in the AF error there as well. And then I feel like it'd be, I don't know. I need to stand up real quick to get my stand hour, so give me like 2 minutes and I'll be right back. All right, and stand goal is back. You agree that the Alamo Fire dependency shouldn't bump up past the network manager side. Well, I'm glad we agree about that. Like, because there's no reason for Alamo Fire to be outside of the like dependency, like the API dependency, to be honest. Like, that's just the case. So I gotta figure out how to get that out of there though, because that is the case. Like, it shouldn't be there. I don't know. Let's see. I mean, Alamofire is pretty big. And you can't tell me all these people are like running with their own custom like URL session, right? Alamofire TCA dependency. And it's totally fine if it's not. I was just curious if someone had it. But it doesn't look like it. But we could still catch and throw this result. Hold on one sec. All right. Yeah, so I wonder if there is a way to still like return a result, like cache and throw it basically still. Let's try it. Because if you successfully get it, then we get the response. So right. Errors from here not handled. Yep, we'll do that in just a second. And then we want that, but so I can get a error, basically make an error that confirms with the, like an API client error, right? Do. Would I want it to conform to the AF error? Nah. I can just let it be an error. No. I actually don't know if I need this. I think I might be overthinking it. Hold on. Let's just delete this. And let's just do what you literally just said to do, which would be result dot failure error? That probably doesn't sound right. So now we can just have this be an error here. And we definitely don't need to return a response at the end because that would never work. And then an API client, this can just be an error. And then we can let this be an error. I also don't know if I need to specifically conform it to a task result, but we'll figure it out. Specialize with too many. Oh, is this like, does it need to be like a project? Yeah, it doesn't conform to equatable because we don't have this yet. Switch. Let success. Return dot none. And then we'll do a case. I think this is probably wrong now. It's gonna be like, yeah, this isn't gonna work. Dot none. Yeah, previous pattern. Great. So let's just erase that for now. And now we need to actually make this happen. How do we, to do that? So we have the case, the fact response. It takes in the task result. So we return dot task, send that in a wait dot fact result. Okay, so let's comment those out. Just want to see return dot task by taking the number equals state dot number. So let's so let's do title, and then we can also do a description from description. And then inside, oh, what is it not? Cannot find project and scope. Why? What did, how did? Oh, they did it inside a bracket. Okay, well, I did do it inside a bracket. Oh, did I not put in? Probably. Yep, that's my issue. In. There we go. Capture project was never used. That's fine. Then we can say, do something. All right, let's try it. I love when Cool. And I know the switch isn't exhaustive, so because it's not exhaustive, we need to do failure, let error. Let's just do a print of the error, because I don't know what it's gonna be. But then here we can say, what do we need to do? How do we need to do that? Await dot fact response. So await dot create project response, and this is the task result. So what do I put it in there? Do I do another API client dot add new project, and it's gonna take in the project. Hey Anthony, what's up? How's it going? How's your day? I think that's what I needed to do. Oh, and I need an await here. Task result. Okay, hold on. I've messed this up a bit. Man, this gets messy, doesn't it? Try, oh wait, whoops. Cannot convert value of type project. Oh, so can I just return a project? Like I don't need to return it as a result? Man, that makes my life easier. So we'll try this. Async throws project. Yeah. And then inside the API client live, well, we need to actually go and adjust this. So we can actually just return, we'll let it through. I think this is what it's supposed to do actually. Project. And so then we can throw the error. I mean, in theory, we shouldn't have to throw an error, but I want to throw it because I don't want to deal with the AF error, right? That's the point, yeah. And then we can return the success, the project. Because that makes more sense. Cool. Yeah, it definitely feels a lot cleaner also, Matt. So yeah, I would agree. Anthony, you having a good Friday? Nice. And you're also thinking of some project to build in Swift that helps solve some of your problems. Nice. That's always the best way to build projects in my opinion. Is call can throw, but it's not working. Try, return, try. Oh wait. Is definitely building stuff that like solves your problem is like the best case scenario there. Yeah, this feels cleaner. Now, did it actually do what I wanted it to do here? I don't know. We're gonna find out. What is this? New project. Build, fail. I love it. Cannot conform to fix? I'm missing something in an action here. Do I need like print project, but why is it not equatable? Project's equatable. I literally just followed the thing here. Okay, so they declared the dependency outside the reducer. Should I try? I wonder if I try doing that, if that'll be better. No, did the same thing. Action, fact response, task result. Dot success of fact. The closure provided to Blink is allowed to throw, but any non-cancellation errors will cause a runtime warning. So we need to just declare the success case, basically, which is what I did. Oh, equality. The biggest downside to using an untyped error in a result type is that the result will not be equatable, even if the success type is. Oh. To get a passing test, explicitly conform your custom error to the equatable protocol. So I wonder if I should have an API client error. So let's make a new file here. We'll just call it API error. Public enum API error conforms to error. And then I need to also conform to equatable. It sounded like cool. Case. Let's just say saving project. I mean creating a project. And then we'll pass in an error with that. Yep, I'm sure it doesn't. Let's just pass in a message. Let's just pass in a string actually, because then I could do something with that string for right now. And then inside API manager, we can throw an API manager error. And let's grab the error dot localized description for now. Well, hold on. Dot. Nope. I don't actually know what this will do. No project made. Because I'm assuming now that this error has this. Could I not? Well, now that this is a result, it has an AF error. Can I not just, since I'm like, it's catching it as a normal result, as a normal error, right? Like, it's not catching the actual, like, error. I don't know yet. Hold on. Because I just want to get the message, or, like, what error description. I guess that could have come from, like, an actual, like, localized error. Okay. Let's just do this. Let's not be all complicated right now. Error dot localized description. API manager dot API manager cannot be constructed because it has no accessible. Oh, it should just be API error. My bad. Might actually want to be manager error, but that's fine. I don't even need this error anymore. This like API, this like enum here. So now it should, right? Or did I do something wrong still? It looks like I still did something not right. Oh, did I not update to return to... Let's see. New project, API error. That's error and equatable. I don't know if it can still be equatable with the create project. With the string. I feel like I'm doing something wrong still. It throws a project. And it throws the API error specifically. Well, let's just throw based off the create project. And let's go and adjust that API error to not bring in an associated thing. I'm just trying to get this equatable error to go away. Which may or may not be possible. So we have equatable. To get a passing test, explicitly conform your custom error to the equatable protocol, which I did do. But why? Enum equatable sub 5 error. Make error sub enums equatable. This looks crazy and not exactly what I want. Well, that doesn't look great either. Like what they were proposing there. API error. Can it be a, can I do a struct? Public struct. I'm just curious, like, I'm sure there's other things here too. A thrown expression type string to API error does not conform. Oh yeah, because that doesn't exist. Okay, but like I still don't understand why this doesn't conform to equatable anymore. Like the error conforms to equatable. That's not even what I'm trying to do. I can't conform this action to equatable for some odd reason. Your results failure is only common to error, and error is not equatable yet. You can try to replace your error with a type that conforms to both error and equatable. So could I, instead of project, can it literally be task result and then an error? I don't think this will work, but because I think task result only takes in one. What am I doing wrong? Because yeah, this is something wrong. Dot success takes an effect. Dot failure, we handle the error. Equality. The biggest downside to using an untyped error in the result type is that the result will not be equatable even if the success type is. The negatively affects your ability to test features. Does extra work to try to maintain equality when possible. If its underlying error is equatable, masked by the error is equatable, then it will use the equatable conformance on two failures. Luckily, most error thrown... Yeah, that's great that it's like luckily like that, but why is it not... Okay, so it's just not doing my stuff. Like, am I not up to date on something? Because this doesn't make sense. The initializer is most often used in async. Okay, so let's action. Accessing dependencies in an effect. Okay, that didn't actually do what I needed to do. I'm not surprised. Let's go, where is this? See, they just do a string in their number fact. Well, do they have anything with an error in it? Open. What are their case studies? So let's see, their fact client, which is dependency key. Let's just, can we open the whole thing? That's fine, we don't have to. That's not what I wanted either. Awesome. I'm trying to open the examples. So in developer, point free, Swift, composable, examples, case studies, project. There it is. That's what I was looking for. Effects, basics. This screen demonstrates how to introduce side effects into a feature built with the composable architecture. Okay, great. See, they just return a string here. Does my project need to conform to equatability? Or equatable? I thought it does, but that's fine. We'll try this. Also, because maybe it's the project that doesn't conform to equatable. Project does not conform to equatable. Cool. Let's see. What would make the project equatable? Everything is the same. And the weird thing is you have to keep going. To do needs to be equatable. It might need to also be equatable. See, these are all codables though, because like I wanted them to be codables to go into with the Alamo Fire. So I thought being a codable helped conform to equatable. But maybe I'm wrong. It wouldn't be the first time I'm wrong. I don't mind being wrong. Conform. And really, it's really if the title, the ID is the same, but I think there's going to be more repercussions in this. And then what, status probably needs to make sure we're equatable also. Let's see. I just, no such module, project core. I love when I do that. Yeah, I didn't think I did, but it was like, hey, we don't conform. Like, it gets mad if I add equatable, like, explicitly and I don't have it. Oh, I understand. Because, like, the others need it. So, like, once I do to do, I understand. Like, I don't need this. It's like once I get the custom stuff in status. Now, because it's all equatable, I should be able to do it. I understand what you're saying. Oh, and I bet the status equivalent string also needs to be equatable. Maybe. I don't actually know that part. That's just more so. We don't even have that yet, but We are back to equatable again now. We are still... Why is there no such project as project 4? Is my error equatable? Yes. I just took it to a struct API error equatable. Should I try going back to an enum? But like that should be fine, right? I think that's fine. We're just gonna throw and then an API client. Or throws that. API manager throws a API client. So that should be fine there. Package. We should still have, I just don't understand why it's saying that my new project core is now gone too. Oh, whoops. Wait, did that? Okay, so I think that, I don't think that's right. Project.swift. Oh, why do we have two projects.swift? So that's probably not, or no, that's fine. New package core goes into map core. Well, that would also be an issue, right? I don't know if it's necessary. Yeah, it is necessary. Ah, ha. Everything just had to be equatable. Thank you, Matt. Let's see. Sweet, so that posted there. Now to see if it actually like does what it's supposed to do here. Success. And it was supposed to also print something else. But I'm super excited that it was able to at least print. Yeah, I mean that it was able to like run, because that was a mess. But let's, so in new project core, it should have printed the project, I thought. But where is that printing from? Oh, it's, well, hey, let's get rid of that. Let's try again, because I mean, it still should have gotten to there. It's obviously not throwing, and I don't think it's throwing an error. Oh, hold on. It might have thrown an error. Let's, and then I think I can even grab the error again. Yep. Sweet. So let's go to add project. Test again. And now it's throwing an API error, but it's giving me 201 created, which is cool, right? That's like what it's supposed to give me. I feel like we're not returning, or I'm not seeing the project though. And like in my tables, we have them. Can I just delete these all? No, I cannot. Oh, because they're associated with to-dos. Update or delete on the table, key constraint. All changes were reverted. Okay. That's fine. All I wanted to do was try to remove to-dos. What project are they? The one that B19. What if I keep that one? I can. Yeah, I don't quite know how I'm. There we go. As long as I keep the status there for right now, it'll be okay. So we are successfully creating it, but the response is not coming back right, is the issue. Like, what does it say our error actually is when I make this happen? Add project. Failed reason. String. Decoding failed on the error. Decoding error, key not found for title, string value title. Okay, so that looks like it's just something with my serializing inside my app. Inside here, but we have a title. Do I need like coding? I guess I could have some coding keys in here. Oh, I wonder if it doesn't. It only returns what's available? I don't know. Let's try again. Now that I have like explicitly added coding keys. Yeah, it returns the object. I completely got rid of it. Returns a project, and which should look the same. ID, title, description, status ID. So the only thing it doesn't return, I guess, are to-dos, right? But it returns an ID, title, description, and status ID. And this should probably be status equals, is this right? Status. Oh, I see. Let's just not worry about that right now. I think it was the status ID. Does not conform to decodable. Why? I hate. It's so easy, but then it fails. But then it fails so hard. I fail so hard, but that's okay. We'll figure it out. Okay, so in the init, we try to decode. Well, I'm not from a decoder, so I wonder if that's what I need to do. Yep. So, yeah, and the coding keys, so it would need it, which we're not returning a status, we're only returning a status ID. Like, as part of this struct. Well, it does return a whole, well, it returns a status ID. Vapor is doing something cool, like associating it already, so the status is just there. What if we just try it? I think it needs a UUID. I don't think that it can equal nil. Yeah, it's automatically there. Okay. Is that even what it returns as the status ID? It might. I think that's right. And now this is upset because I don't explicitly do it. We always need a status ID. I don't know why I was like, it's going to be equal to nil. It can't be equal to nil. I'm still not conforming. Does it need to be out of here? Things I'm learning. This is also my first time really dealing with like creating my own network requests and stuff. I usually don't because I've been playing with core data too much. Can I just explicitly implement the coding thing? Must be declared public. Ah, thanks, Matt. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Okay, I don't understand how it doesn't conform to decodable now. Oh, I needed a init from, right? No. How to conform. Yeah, init from. Keyed by the coding keys. I bet that's what I need is another init. Oh. But there isn't always to-dos associated with it. If that makes sense. Hold on, let's undo some of this because I need to take it back what I was doing real quick. So let's get rid of the enums. I think this brings it here. Okay, so there's not always to-dos and there's always a status, like in a status ID, but there's not always to-dos. Now I think there is a way for me to, because like right when you make, like there would be an empty array for status for to-dos, but I thought the coding keys, and this is where I could be wrong, but I thought the coding keys really allowed me to kind of like choose what I wanted to map and choose what I didn't want to map. Let's see. I think it's this init from decoder it wasn't having earlier. But let's see. Does not conform to codable. Can we just add explicit? Cool. Ugh. Self.to-dos. We don't actually need to do this. What if... Okay, and this must be declared public, right? Makes sense. I think because it's not optional, it needs something. Ah, that makes sense. So maybe I should just make it optional? And then I probably need to rerun the, like, there's like, I think there's like this, self.to-dos equals decode if present. For key. Project. And then we want like encode if present, right? So it's basically the same thing. And I probably want to do the same thing for status then. I think. So like in my encoder and decoder, since they are... Okay, so I guess like this is more of... Maybe there's actually another API request that I actually need to make inside API Manager. Just throwing it out here. Because the status is a like one-to-many. So like to go from status, so like or a many-to-many, whatever relationship. It's a relationship. So from projects to status. And you only need to associate the project status ID in there. So what I'm guessing is this shouldn't be status. This should be like status ID to begin with. And then to-dos is the same thing. Let's just get rid of it for right now. Let's just have some fun. And it should we should always have a status ID of something. And let's just, again, get rid of to-dos just because I don't think it's necessary. And you say we can get rid of this stuff because if we're just trying to map one-to-one, it should be okay. Like, it should be smart. We should be smart enough to, I mean, it should be smart enough to grab it. That would make sense to me. Description should be optional. Okay, so now why does it not conform to decodable? Missing parameter for status ID. Okay, let's go. Maybe I just did. This. Let's make it optional also. What? You don't need that anymore. This is a bit of a interesting factor. Interesting things to work through. So it looks like we're still decoding key not found for title. I don't quite know what this int value is, but string value title. We definitely have a title with a string. A no value, context, coding path, whatever, empty array. Debug description, no value associated with key, string value title. I'm slightly confused because we obviously have this. What if I do just declare an actual enum? Just coding keys. And that way you can explicitly try it. Nope, still nothing associated with tile. Let's just copy paste. Because maybe there's something else that's happening that I'm just not aware of. Key not found. Title most likely is not returning, but it... I mean, I'm not saying that... Okay, let's try then. Printing a project. Oh, well, this time it's definitely warning value type status is required, and it's not sending. Okay, so I know why it was the way that it was before, where I had the status. Because I need to still send a status through. I understand. Let's get rid of this stuff again. Hold on. And we will have to put those back. Because we have to grab the status ID to actually send. So status, it actually needs to send in like a JSON format, which arguably I could probably make a custom thing on the other side, but basically to send a successful request, I have to send this status, which is like an object with an ID inside that object. So we can kind of see it here more so, status, and then send the ID of the status. And that's what's happening. So it's probably gonna get upset again, but let's get rid of the to-dos for now. Project output description, because it should be okay. So it's returning a project. Why I don't know why it says project.output. So it's returning the project, but am I like I don't know. Hold on, I want to try something. Because, like, it should return all of that. So, like, if I send this, which is basically exactly what I have in there, we get an ID. We send an ID, and we receive an ID for the status. Receive an ID for that. Get a title. Test 1, description is null. Hey Salma, how's it going? Hello, hello. That is an interesting conundrum. What is going on in status? But like, what time is it in the US? It is 3:55 where I'm at. So 3:55 p.m. So let's figure it out. So under status, we have ID, title, color, description. What if we just do this? ID, UID. Really, we just need the ID right now. Oh, I'm ready, Matt. Tell me, what am I doing wrong? The title is from status title. Yep. We are thinking the same thing right now. I'm pretty sure. Grab these down here. Almost positive we were thinking the exact same thing. That error could have been a little bit more descriptive. Unexpected. What? Oh, here. As to like where. But I think we were on the same page there. Yeah, 100% terrible. Yeah, I'm working with a server to here, hold on. I'm working on a work in progress app called I'm working on not a work in progress. I'm working on like a project manager type app it was not happy. But that was definitely not a good one to be happy about. That's why Proxyman and Charles are good options. What's Proxyman? Oh, do you like pipe through this? Is that what happens? Is it difficult? It's a little difficult. It's just a lot of stuff that I haven't done before. Trying to put it all together. So basically I'm building like a Jira replacement, or you could call it like a Trello or like a linear type replacement, GitHub projects replacement, stuff like that, to go through and, I just want my own option and I want to try to build it myself. And so that's what's happening. But like how... Oh, that's cool. Is this paid for? Pricing. Yes. Did I study programming at the university or did I take a course? Definitely do not have the computer science degree. I have a technical theater degree, so in like lighting. And then I did do like a very short stint at like a web boot camp for like a couple months. And then I just got too busy and so I dropped out. It was like one of those pay-as-you-go type deals that you meet with like a mentor every week. I think I only did it like 2 months. And it was nice. It helped me, but it didn't help me with like the iOS stuff. It was definitely more like JavaScript. I got what I needed out of it also, which was nice. Charles, you said Charles? But yeah, so it was all right. But like now I'm on there, link. But yeah, ultimately though I say no, I didn't really take a course. Like I said, the web boot camp didn't help me for this stuff. And it was just more so meeting with a mentor also that I needed to like talk out loud. A lot of this is like self-taught and relying on people like Matt in the chat that can help me like debug if I'm not seeing it immediately. But cool, what's happening here? Oh, now I'm not passing in a status. Well, I shouldn't have to. We get status.mock. So it looks like I'm probably on a wrong thing here. Like, this is like usually like we're crossing threads and that's bad. So let's try something else here. Let's do, all state, sure, equal state. And then we can do let project equals project titles all state dot title, and then there should be a description all state dot description. What's the difference between title and name? Nothing. I don't even know where that name came from. And then it should come in with that. So let's replace. Cannot infer contextual base in reference to member create project. Let's try this. Let project equals state dot title. Whoops, that's not what I meant. That's more so what I meant. And then description is state dot description. I don't know if I actually need to declare anything up there, so we'll try. Oh, and this should not be state.description, we'll just have it be description. Description, this should be a nil, because it may or may not come back. What kind of programmer earns the most? I think that honestly just depends on what type of programmer you are. Like there's that, I don't know, to be honest. You'd have to like Google search that. I've never looked that up. I have only wanted to do what hey, we got the project down this time. That is awesome. So it was successful, I think. There definitely is no error that was printed. We just printed the project. Yeah, that's definitely something that you can Google and figure out. I unfortunately don't have any insight into that. I know what I make, and that's really dependent on other things in life also. Like, I know what I've made before as well. Like, web developers get paid pretty decently. iOS developers, any kind of developer should get paid decently. I know stuff happens, or like I know it depends on like location and stuff. So I would definitely recommend you like Google it, to be honest, Alma. All right. Yeah. Cool. I think this worked. I think we can successfully make a project from here. There's definitely a bit that goes into it, and I don't quite know exactly how I want to do that. Yeah, no problem. Anytime. Feel free to like ask other questions though. I just don't have an answer completely for like what programmer makes the most. Cool. So that definitely like opens up here. The next thing we need to do is actually close this window on a success. So that is the next thing to do. So let's do, where is this? Cool. So we await this. So what we want to do here is send. That's basically the same action. Delegate.cancel. We probably should not use .cancel button though. Case successful post. I don't like this either, successful post, just because like in theory these actions are supposed to represent what the user did, but we'll say successful response, because to me that also makes sense. So, and then in app state, app core, new project.core, we can do this is, now it's upset because we're missing the successful response. State dot new project state equals a new project core dot state, which I actually don't think we actually need to do. I think actually we don't need to scope this out whatsoever, to be honest. Like the fact that I'm adding a new form should be all that's needed to actually open and close this, because that state should be reset every time it opens and closes. And then we need to return .none. Like, I don't think app core state, so the top level state of TCA, really needs to hold on to that. I think, I just don't think that's necessary. But we'll refactor that in just a bit. Oops, let's get through that. Replace. Hello world. Here's a description. I'm ready for this all to break now. And we definitely did not post correctly. We should still present the error. Add project, hello. So it has the title Hello World. Oh, that was from a while ago. Did it break? I don't think so. Let's go and print that error again. Oh, we should get errors printed. So why not printing the project now? It heard me say, hey, let's refactor this, and now it's like, ah. I don't want the cancel button to hit. I want to do a .successful response. So this should definitely grab an error of some kind, but we're not getting any. Well, that's cool. Why did it take so long? Well, okay, so we definitely need a status also while this is happening. Maybe. I bet it is a thread thing. But like it didn't send until I hit the cancel button. And it's like as soon as I hit cancel, it was good. It was golden. So, and it did send like really quickly before though. That was really weird. What if we do a return.none again? I'm just curious. No. It's still waiting till I hit the cancel button, which is super weird. Still. Every time I hit cancel, it's sending. So it makes me feel like I did something wrong on this end. I mean on the buttons. Add project button tapped. I don't think I touched it though. Successful response. So that's when the action comes back on the delegate. Add project button tab. So that's there. And then here. Okay. Return the create response. We let the project return .none or return .none. Let's go to a new project view. Add project, cancel button. Huh. Hold on, I heard a cat. Man, I'm hearing phantom meows now. It's crazy. Let's just see if when this runs, replace. Because this is really odd. Because like it's not running at all right here. Now it ran when I hit cancel, so that's super odd. I'm so confused. Number one, let's let me actually like get this kind of committed. Not kind of, let me get it completely committed. Developer, what are we doing? We're doing work in public. Let me just commit it all real quick so that we can have a place to go back to. That kind of works, I guess. AI call successfully, but something's wonky here. Let's push it. Yeah, so why is this running like it is? Let's do a quick refactor of what I really want it to look like now that I think I've gotten this a little bit better. Because like in theory this store opens, but we don't need to scope it out. So like I don't think show add project form is, but does it need it to be able to communicate back and forth like if it's open or not? Maybe it does. I don't think it does. I think we can actually just get rid of the state. Yeah, let's try it. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Yeah, we're gonna... We don't need a scope. But we do need the actions. I don't know, let's get rid of these. Let's see what happens. Yeah, and all we need to do is now do this. I wonder if it was the with, which is so weird, like why a with animation would change this, but you know. Cool, cancel. So all it does is closes the form. And now it's going to be upset inside this with, I think it's API view. App view. App view, come here. We don't need to do this part. Ooh, but I don't know if this is gonna work with the store. We're gonna try something. Initial state is gonna be a new project core. Dot state. See, and this is where I don't think it's gonna work, because like the scope, like I just need the actions, I don't need the states to talk to each other. I also don't think I'm gonna do this, but that's fine. Oh, so can I... Is that it? So that's how it's supposed to look, but I don't think this is gonna work because I don't think the actions are gonna come back, but we can always try and see what happens. Build failed. I expected a unexpected separator where? But let's see what happens. I mean, worst that happens is that it stays open. Crazy to me that that is still working on the cancel button and not the regular button, but that's a different thing. I feel like I still need the scope. Let's discard the change here. What if we just do a new project 4? Cannot convert, so it needs a writable key path. Well, that's silly. It shouldn't. I mean, it does, obviously, like that's the case. Well, you know, that was a good little try here. So let's just discard my change and discard my change here. And we'll do this. Yeah, I don't know how it would be a different thread at this point though, because like it's sending things on cancel button, which is just super duper odd. So wait, so if the sheet is presented, then we send the dot cancel button tapped. Why though? Why are we sending that? That doesn't make complete sense. I mean, I guess it's the same thing, right? To close it. But it's like it basically just swapped behavior, and that is like super strange to me. Because the send cancel button, send, then on create project response. See, like we're not even. I don't know. Let's try this. But it should. Well, that was cool. Nope. It's like this button isn't hooked up to anything. I just don't know how this is possible. Maybe I did something in the project view, but I swear we've looked at that before. Add the button tapped. Cancel button tapped. Like, I just don't get... Hey, Ofen, I answered that earlier. I said kind of, like, it's taken me a while. I mean, like, I haven't touched Python in a while. I think you would be able to pick it up between the two, but, like, there's definitely enough differences that I cannot say that they are totally similar or alike, but like honestly, once you start working with programming languages, you'd be able to pick up another one. So I guess I shouldn't say no, they're not kind of similar. Like they are different. Like you definitely have the different like conventions and stuff between each of them. But the concepts are there, can be there. This is just wild to me. I don't know what to do. Yeah, I mean, Python and Lua are both great scripting languages from what I've been told. I've used Lua, I've heard of Lua in the last couple, like, in my couple jobs ago. There was a product that you could script with Lua. It's a pretty neat idea. I haven't used it personally. Python I haven't touched in forever, except to make like a small basic like scripting app that went through like Excel file basically. So I can't give much info there. But I am super confused on this. Like, it doesn't make sense. We have a button that's supposed to send the cancel button tapped, right? Which is this button here. Which maps to... It's gross. Case.delegate is .none. Which maps to cancel button tap .send .delegate .cancel button. But it's like the button's not even working. Like hitting the cancel button does the same thing as hitting the add button. Because like we can see here, if I hit cancel, it goes to tapped. If I hit add project, it's not doing anything like at all. So let's try this. Let's do a print here. Is this running? Because maybe actually this delegate should be moved probably further down. I bet that's the issue, is we're sending a delegate. I mean, it doesn't explain most of the issue actually, but yeah, that didn't do anything. That sends like it's supposed to, but this isn't doing anything. Also, the delegate to the successful response isn't actually working either. You click, wait, so you click like the last push I just did and it works great? Awesome. Let me just, yeah. Let's do this. Discard. Let's just discard all my changes. Okay, well, hey. I'm glad it's working for you though, because that's great. We cleared my build folder. What else should I clear? I think that's probably all I can clear. Let's try running it again, just like fresh. Maybe I need to go and clone my own folder. Let's see. So like the cancel button works and the add button works. Because it's... What did I do? Huh. Well, this is an odd one. I don't exactly know what to do then. Yep, that goes from true to false, and the state stays the same. At core, I don't even know what is this name? Doesn't do anything. Delete derived. Let's do the delete derived data thing. That's right. That should have been something that I could pick up on. What is this? This is work in public. Probably towards the bottom. I don't. Let's just delete both of them. And whatever whip is. Because that's probably that. Makes sense. Stop. And play. It's going to have to go and package it all. Thank you for double checking that though. I appreciate it. I sometimes forget about that delete derived data option. I try not to do it, at least in the Vapor side, because you have to go into that like custom. I mean, I think the folder is set to itself. Like it's not like too custom, but yeah. Yeah, programming's great. This past 2 weeks, 2 or 2.5 weeks, I was working on a project at work. Trying to put in the new navigation stacks and navigation path destinations and stuff with SwiftUI. Because they seem great. Like you can just like basically pass around like the data object would be a really great fit for what we're doing. Turns out there is a bug in iOS 16.3 at least, maybe earlier, but I have no idea. But when you run the project, or when you run and you try to navigate with something that's passed into it on a navigation stack, it like causes the application to go to 100% and then like time out because you're hitting the you're hitting the state there of the because you're hitting something. Anyway, there's some kind of bug that's just causing it to like load over and over and over again. So 2.5 weeks later, I mean 2 weeks later, like I find that out because someone had posted about it on the forums, like literally the day before, the Apple developer forums, and then was like, hey, or sorry, that was sometime this week. I think it was yesterday or the day before. and was like, oh, looks like this is a bug that's a known issue in iOS and looks like it should be fixed in the next beta. And lo and behold, I think it is. I didn't try running it because like it doesn't matter. I needed to make it work, not on beta. But like platform bugs are now a thing to also worry about. Sweet. That's working there at least. I don't know why it's not closing, but at least we can close that. So that set it to true? No. That's way better though, at least it opened. So that was my life this week, was trying to figure that out. So yeah, another time of programming is fun. So just so y'all know, like iOS, not only is it your own bugs that you introduce, Apple can introduce bugs and cause your life to be fun. Will this close? Let's find out. It did not close. No closing. Cool. And it did return back with the proper, like, description. Now did this description actually... No closing. Sweet. Well, hey, at least that worked, I guess. But, like, why is it not closing is a better question. Oh, probably because of this. Reducer is not right. Discard that. Replace. Hey, look at that. We have things close and they succeed and I love it. So that's awesome. Let's clean up these stores just a smidgen. We don't need a name in here. And then the only reason we're gonna override these inits is so that I can so that I can override these like if in like previews and stuff if I wanted to. Equals description, and we can just make this a string and then make this a string. Okay, so I think this all works again, and one more thing is an app core. We don't need this name either, and by we I mean me. This is like public, so feel free to always go and check out this Notion page, which has the GitHub repo in it, or at least it should. I think that'll post. I hope it posts. I've never know if these Stream Deck buttons work or not, so cool. That should work. I don't think I actually need the with animations anymore, especially because it's just a sheet view, which is fun. Replace. Let's just make sure it's gonna do what I think it's gonna do. Cool. And it did exactly what I thought it would. Awesome. So let's get that added one more time. Cleans up. Clean up stores. Push it to the limit. Okay, so I think that's like a really great place for me to stop right now. Like that actually completes exactly what I wanted to do today, which was finish up the so that really completes what I really wanted to finish today, which was finish up this, the API call to be able to make projects. The next thing I really need to figure out at some point is how I'm going to actually store all the projects, is how to fetch a project from the database, I feel like, so that I can populate this list here of different projects, and then we'll work on just filling out each part afterwards. So like you'll click on a project and it'll list up all the tasks, and there will be like project info there, like that kind of stuff like needs to start like populating out. So I think next time we'll definitely work on fetching projects from the database and then displaying it, and then also figuring out how to, and then finally also like how do we keep this local, like the data local? I don't know if it's like feeding into like a persistent store of some kind, so there could be like a core data backed thing on it, or we could do a like an SQLite local, like a local SQLite database. I've never done something like that, so it just depends on how much I actually want to like do new on this project. So like I already have the TCA that's new-ish. Definitely still new to me, but I've used it a few times. Like I'm still using it in other projects. I have Vapor that's completely new and trying to figure out the backend like best practices for the backend. Like, do I want to figure out how to run an SQLite database like locally to keep things like cached? Or should I just like, you know, like put in the core data and let that do its persistence thing? And I'm only thinking of like times when I'm not like by the computer and I can't update, but then that causes some other friction. So I might try to just be like, you have to be connected to the internet for a while, and I'll think about that over the week and come back next Friday with more info. But with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate it. If you made it this far, make sure you hit the like button. Definitely feel free to share this with people, and I will catch y'all in the next week. Have a great weekend. Bye, y'all.